The Indian subcontinent is once again on edge. Long simmering tensions between India and Pakistan have flared into open conflict. This latest chapter in their troubled history began on May 7, 2025. India launched airstrikes against targets inside Pakistan. Pakistan responded with its own aerial attacks. The world watches with bated breath as two nuclear-armed neighbors engage in dangerous brinkmanship. This is not the first time India and Pakistan have come to blows. The two nations have fought multiple wars since their partition in 1947. The Kashmir region remains a major flashpoint. Both countries claim this mountainous territory. They have fought two wars specifically over Kashmir. Each side controls a portion of the region, but neither seems willing to relinquish its claim. The current crisis is a stark reminder of the volatile situation in South Asia. Both India and Pakistan possess nuclear weapons. Even a limited conflict carries the risk of spiraling out of control. The international community has urged both sides to exercise restraint. However, history suggests that finding a lasting solution to the India-Pakistan conflict will be a difficult, if not impossible, task. For now, the world can only watch and hope that cooler heads prevail. The stakes are simply too high for this conflict to escalate any further. The spectre of nuclear war hangs over South Asia. It is a sobering reminder of the fragility of peace and the devastating consequences of unchecked conflict. In the early hours of May 7, 2025, Indian fighter jets crossed the line of control into Pakistani airspace. The operation, dubbed Operation Sindoor, targeted what India claimed were terrorist training camps. The strikes marked a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. According to Indian officials, Operation Sindoor was a preemptive strike against militants planning attacks on Indian soil. They claimed that the targets were carefully selected to minimize civilian casualties. The Indian government insisted that the operation was not intended to provoke Pakistan. Rather, it was a necessary measure to protect Indian citizens. Pakistan, however, vehemently denied the presence of any terrorist camps within its borders. It condemned the Indian airstrikes as an act of aggression. Pakistani officials accused India of using the fight against terrorism as a pretext for attacking their country. They vowed to respond forcefully to what they perceived as an unprovoked attack on their sovereignty. Operation Sindoor sent shockwaves throughout the region and beyond. It was the first time in decades that Indian warplanes had struck targets deep inside Pakistan. The international community expressed deep concern over the escalating tensions. World leaders urged both sides to show restraint and engage in dialogue to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. Pakistan wasted no time in responding to India's Operation Sindoor. On May 8, 2025, Pakistani fighter jets roared across the line of control. They targeted Indian military installations in the disputed Kashmir region. Pakistan claimed to have inflicted significant damage. They also asserted that they shot down two Indian fighter jets. Adding to the tension, Pakistan released a video showing the wreckage of what they claimed was an Indian Rafale jet. The Rafale is a French-made state-of-the-art fighter jet recently acquired by the Indian Air Force. If the Pakistani claim is true, it would mark a significant propaganda victory for Islamabad. It would also raise questions about the effectiveness of India's newly acquired military hardware. The alleged downing of the Rafale jet has been met with skepticism in some quarters. Independent verification of the Pakistani claim has been difficult to come by. However, the incident highlights the high stakes involved in the India-Pakistan conflict. It also underscores the potential for even a limited engagement to escalate rapidly. Adding fuel to the fire, Pakistan claimed to have used Chinese-made J-10C fighter jets in the engagement. The use of these advanced aircraft, if confirmed, would mark a significant development in the region's military balance. It would also signal China's growing influence in South Asia. As the dust settles on this latest round of fighting, the situation on the ground remains tense and uncertain. Both India and Pakistan continue to exchange accusations. Each side claims to have inflicted heavy losses on the other. However, independent verification of these claims has been difficult to obtain. The fog of war hangs heavy over the region. Conflicting narratives and propaganda make it difficult to discern the truth. One thing is clear, the situation is extremely volatile. The potential for miscalculation and further escalation remains high. The international community has responded with alarm to the renewed fighting. World leaders have called for an immediate ceasefire and a return to dialogue. However, neither India nor Pakistan seems willing to back down. Both countries appear locked in a dangerous cycle of escalation and retaliation. The coming days will be crucial in determining the trajectory of this conflict. Whether cooler heads will prevail or whether the region will descend into a wider war remains to be seen. One thing is certain, the stakes could not be higher. The world watches with bated breath as two nuclear-armed neighbors teeter on the brink.